Welcome to this YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at the pivot table. We're going to look at a number of features in the pivot table, and these ones include how do we create a pivot table from scratch, how do we edit the table, how do we design it, how different layers, how do you get the calculated field, and much more. How do we play with this layout to change it from whatever and change it to what we want? So there's a lot filtering. How do you filter data? How do you sort the data in the pivot table? So we do have a lot to look at. Let's jump in. And to get started, I have data here which shows the region, the date, the product, customer type, salesperson, sales, and cost of sales. So as one of the things I'll be doing, I'll show you how to get a calculated field, and my calculated field will be the profit, which takes the sales minus the cost of sales. So let's jump into it. This is the data we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to do, create a pivot table, highlight your data, then go under insert pivot table. It selects the range correctly, and you want to insert it on a new sheet or an existing sheet. Because I need a lot of room here, I'm gonna say new sheet and say create. So when I do that, I get options here that I can use. Now it brings up this layout and says rows. So what do we want to appear in the rows? Here you come under rows. Now there are two options. You can come here under rows and click region, like so. And if you want to remove it, there's an X here that you can click and you remove. Or on the side here, there's another sidebar which opens, which allows you to drag and place right there. So those are two options on how you can add rows or columns to pivot table. Now that we have added the region, it makes sense to add some values. And I go down here under values, I click on that, and my values are in sales. That's one of my values. And go back and also pick cost of sales. So when you do that, you can see that our pivot table quickly summarizes and tells us the total of each region sales and each region cost of sales. Without using complicated formulas, in quick steps, we are able to generate such a table, which I think is a very wonderful tool. Now, let's bring in the other things. I look at this one here. I have a product, I have date, and I have a calculated field right there. So let's bring in the product. The product is going to be brought in as another row. So I can come under row, drag, come put under rows here. There you go. Now, if you want the product to appear first, just hover over it. When you see the cross, you drag it on top, like so. Then the product comes here, and then the region here. But in my case, I want the region first, then the product second. It gives us the region, the product, sales for each of these products in this region, and also gives us a total for each of the regions. So, and when you come here, under the regions, you can see it shows show totals. And when I unclick it, the grand total goes away. So depending on whether you want the grand total to show or not, you can use this button right here. Now, there are other features in here, ascending order. If you want this region to be in ascending order, you specify the order you want it in ascending order or descending order. So if I say descending, region 4 comes up. Then if I say ascending, then region 1 comes on top. So you can sort by you can order by either in ascending or descending. Then you can also sort by cells, by the region, by the sum of the cells. When I do that, the top cells go on top, this high value cells, postal cells. So you can play around with this functionality and see what you get. Now, of course, if you want to have continuous running of these rows, for example, if I say repeat label, you can see the region appears continuous. If you want to say repeat the product, that's how it appears, and so on. That's another thing that you need to know about. If you don't want them, then you can always remove them. But if you want them, you just click this checkbox and it will place them, or when it's checked, it will display the labels. When it's not checked, the labels will not be continuous. Now, the other thing I want to show you is to bring in a calculated field. In the calculated field, I'm going to go under values here. I click there. When you click there, you see the word calculated field. So what do I want to do? What I want to do is get the sales minus cost of sales. So when I click there, it brings the formula right here. And if I want to amend the calculated field, I can just do it here. I'm going to say profit. So let's get the calculated field. Our calculated field is profit. We can rename it here by typing it right here, because profit. Then our profit is got by sales. Type this word sales, cost of sales, like so. So when you do that, you're going to get your profit right here. So this is how you can add the calculated field. Now, let's look at other interesting things. Okay, now that's how we can create a table, a pivot table, create a calculated field, and do all these interesting things, change the layout and so on. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to filter this data based on a condition. Next, I'm going to show you how to insert a filter. And the filter that we're going to insert is going to be a filter on the date. So I want to say, I want data from this pivot table that is running from 1st January 2023 to 4th to 29th of April 2023. Now there are two conditions here, and therefore I have to use the AND function somewhere because I need to check both of these. The date has to be greater than 1st January 2023, but also less or equal to 29th April 2023. So to do that, I'm gonna add a filter. So when I click on filter here, and my filter is by date, so I click on that. I go right on top here, you're going to see filter by condition. Okay, so specify, go down, custom formula. I'm going to use the custom formula. And I start with equals. I use the and I said my date, referring to the date here, this field here in the pivot table, needs to be greater or equal to the date. So if I say G3, G2, if I refer to this cell here, comma, and then I say date again, needs to be less or equal to now G3. Now this, if you do it like this, this does not work. If you want to prove it, if I go to January. If I want only January 2022, let's try that. Be sure everything is working fine, maybe too much. There you go. So I get this. Let's expand to, okay, to July. So you see it ends to July. So it looks like it is working fine. November, go down, you can see it is in November. So all this works fine. And this is how we use the filter function and the custom formula to achieve the filtering of our data. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful. And if so, please like the video, share, give me your comments. If you have a challenge, please share with me and I can have an opportunity to look at it. Otherwise, this is what I have for you today. Have a great day and see you in the next video.